following Chief Mrs. Rita Lori Ogbebo's interview on the morning show, where she stated that the actions of Nyesom Wike, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory of Nigeria, should be investigated over his involvement in a controversial land dispute in Abuja. Our comments, which came in the wake of her family's ongoing battle with the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCTA, which has now threatened to demolish a 42-year-old estate in Abuja, originally developed by our late husband, Colonel Paul Ogbebo.
My husband's legacy, his company should be left. We are prepared to pay this money, whatever it is they say we should pay. The children will put themselves together and pay right now as I'm talking, because it will be a waste of Paul Ogbebo's life. He didn't bring any money home. The only thing he has is this camp that bears his name. He has no money. And the other thing that hurts me is that Wike sent this money, after withdrawing, he sent it to his own company that is manned and run by Chindai.
Do you have proof for that?
I got this.
Do you have proof for that, ma?
Yes, please.
Where's your proof?
I have the proof. I am a journalist.
Where's your
proof? And I tell you, if you find me wanting, put me into prison.
No, I want your proof.
Put me into prison.
No, I just want your proof that Wike now channeled it to his own company. I just want your proof. Where's your proof?
As a true Nigerian who has labored for this country and given my contribution, I swear with my blood. I want the courts to look at this matter the way they should. Legally, truly, punishingly, they should look at it. Because I have, Paul Ogbebo has over 10 men who do we tell them? They saw their father. Their father gave them good example. What are they going to now say? They have a country, they have Nigeria, they can run to. Wow. He has grandchildren.
Madam.
What do we tell them?
Madam, we understand your concern, and I'm sure that many women in Nigeria and elsewhere in your condition will identify with you, fighting for your husband's legacy and also for your children's inheritance, and then standing up to say that Nigeria should treat people fairly, whether in the Federal Capital Territory or elsewhere. However, according to the minister's aide, the revocation notice and process were carried out legitimately in accordance with the law. Joining us now on this show for a right of reply to Rita Lori Ogbebo's accusations against the minister, Nyesom Wike, and the FCTA administration, is Senior Special Assistant on Public Communications to the FCT Minister, Olayinka. Olayinka, good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on the morning show.
Well, good morning, my very senior colleagues, sir.
Good morning.
I greet you so specially. And good morning to my junior colleague, Hussein Rufai, and the other person.
Well, very quickly, you know, in the Senate yesterday, there was also an issue about this, and the Senate has now issued a directive to say that the Federal Capital Territory Administration should halt further demolitions in the FCTA, following a motion brought to the attention of that esteemed body by Senator Rita Lori. And the main allegation is that the FCTA has gone beyond its mandate and even its own declared objectives of focusing on illegal structures. And, you know, in that regard, they talked about this estate, life camp, established by Colonel Paul Ogbebo. And you have listened to the objections raised by Chief Rita Lori Ogbebo, the widow of the affected person. But the minister of the FCT says he's not looking anybody in the face. He doesn't care. He will carry on with demolitions. What does he have to say in defense that he has gone beyond his brief?
Well, I want to first say that the Senate has done what they should do, their job, and with this kind of opportunity it will allow for a kind of a discussion. Those who have made allegation will now have opportunity of coming with evidence to back up their claims. And this is how I believe a country, a society should run. This is how I believe that we should operate. So the minister has been invited, and I'm sure that the other people who are making claims too have been invited. So they have opportunity of now coming openly to the public to say these are evidence of our claim to this land. Because you can only talk about a land being taken from you if the land belongs to you in the first instance. If you don't have genuine legal claim to a land, you cannot come out to say that a land has been taken from you. I listened to Mrs. Rita Lori. I read what he said on her rights. I know that, and I didn't see anywhere. I have not seen anywhere where she presented any document from the government to back up her claim that her husband's company, Paulosa, owned that land, the land in question. All that she has come to say is to display emotion, to whip up sentiment. Oh, my husband is late. Oh, my husband have children. Oh, what will my children say about their country? All those things will not matter anywhere concerning this matter. The only thing that will matter will be for Chief Mrs. Rita Lori to come up with documents showing that the land was allocated to Paulosa Construction Company in 1984. That the land was allocated to that company to build an estate. We should have that document first. We should have probably right of occupancy. We should also have probably, at least if you have been occupying a land for over 40 years, you should have certificate of occupancy. She has not presented any. And the truth of this matter is that she does not have any. Because that land in question, let me give you a brief history of that land.
No, sorry to interrupt you. You will.
All right.
Now, about documents, she shows some documents, and we just played that video this morning.
Yeah.
A sheaf of papers showing that she has some documents. Martinose, popularly known as a very dark man, also was shown yesterday, brandishing some documents. Are you saying that those documents are fake? And that somebody who has exercised the right of possession, in the law of real property, possession is the main thing since 1984. So there's something there, for students of land law.
I was about to start with a brief history on the land. In the early 80s, construction companies were given space and that's why I know that place is called Life Camp. It was a camp for construction company. Paulosa 1, Aprofim 2, Costain 3, and I'm also aware of Stabilin Ficiloni. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's an Italian word. So other construction companies were given space there. When you have a contract to build road or do construction, you need a temporary site office. That place was allocated to all those construction companies as temporary site office in 1984. The condition will be that after finishing your job, you leave the site. It is like a construction work, maybe a road being done in my village. And I now look at, this road is going to benefit my village and my family land is close to the construction site. And I now give my family land to the construction company to use as temporary site office. After constructing the road in my village, will the construction company still stay on that land, build structure on it, and rent the structure out to people? And that is exactly what Paulosa has done. Other construction company, Aprofilm, is no longer there. Costain share the same fence with Paulosa. That is their land. Costain is no longer there. Right. Stability is no longer there. So why is it that the only company that is now there claiming ownership of a land that was given to be used as a temporary site office for construction job is Paulosa? And the reason is simple. We are running it because it is Nigeria. It is government. Anything goes. All right. And somebody has come to ask question. A minister is saying that, no, we can no longer continue to run like this. You cannot be given a land to use as a construction company. After finishing your job, you are still there. You have now built houses, and you are renting the houses to people to live. And that is why I've asked, there are two documents that will give you claim to own land anywhere. Right of occupancy, certificate of occupancy. I challenge Chief Mrs. Rita Lori to produce any of these two documents on that land. Now, like I said earlier, she does not have any. Okay.
I think even beyond challenging, Mr. Enogase, who was representing the estate, the general manager of the estate, had come out to say they didn't have it. But in that interview, and according to his statement, the family are in the process of, they're processing the certificate of occupancy and the right of occupancy. They said out of the 42 million naira, 10 million naira has been deposited. Bearing in mind that this land was allocated, or they've at least been on that land for 40 years without anyone coming to regularize it for so long a time, don't you think they ought to have been given the first right of refusal rather than, almost pull the rug off their feet and then reallocate it to somebody else? If you were going to reallocate it to someone else, you might as well give them the option to regularize, since they are willing to regularize.
Well, they were given option to regularize. They had the offer letter dated February 1, 2023. That is like 20 months ago. They had a letter to say, okay, you have occupied this land illegally. And let me say this again. In Senate climes, in a normal situation, owners of that company should have been arrested for occupying government land illegally for over 40 years. You cannot do that in a civilized society. You cannot come and tell me that because you are a soldier, because you are a woman, you will now go and occupy my property for 40 years. Can anybody occupy your own land or your family land for 40 years without paying, without authority to do so? Now, instead of government wielding the big stick and saying you are a criminal to have done this, government was magnanimous enough to say, okay, they wrote a letter to the government asking for their ownership of the land to be regularized. And government responded on February 1, 2023, 20 months ago, that, okay, we are offering you this land. Come and pay this under this and this condition. Terms. It is like a student applying to, say, University of Port Harcourt, I want to study law. And University of Port Harcourt offered that student provisional offer of admission and saying that, oh, you have to pay acceptance fee for us to know that you have accepted this admission. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 20 months, the student did not write, did not pay acceptance fee.
But they say they have paid at least a sum of the money and that they were willing to make the rest of the payment. That's what she said.
Do you?
And also, sorry, Mr. Olayinka, let me just finish my question. Also, there's also the adverse possession, squatters' rights. That's why I highlighted the number of years that they were there without being accosted by the government. And now the opportunity to regularize, which you said you offered them, they're saying they have the money to pay, but you came with demolition trucks to kick them out and reallocate the land to someone else. So that's the question. That have they paid the sum of 10 million naira? Are they in the process of regularizing?
That is the same thing. That is the same thing I'm trying to tell you. They had 20 months to pay. They did not pay. 20 months to pay. They did not pay. You see, when they got that letter, if you have been angling, if government has been troubling you, leave our land, you now have opportunity of regularizing your ownership of the land. Will you wait for 20 months to pay? They had that option. They had that chance of paying. They did not pay. Then I've seen documents of saying they pay 10 million. And I saw that document. The document is showing that they pay for certificate of occupancy. Do you pay for certificate of occupancy on land not allocated to you? The answer is no. I saw the document. I saw what is written on it, that they pay 10 million for certificate of occupancy.
Okay.
So how can you go and pay for certificate of occupancy on the land that has not been allocated to you? So they should come and tell Nigeria, tell the public, tell the government too. Who did they pay that 10 million to?
Okay.
For what reason did they pay that 10 million?
Okay. Real quickly, let me come to you on this. What was the condition in the terms you guys gave them for the regularization of the land in the first place? What conditions? What amount were they meant to pay? I want to hear from the horse's mouth. What were the conditions
Mr. Hussein Rufai, using the word "you guys" on us is insulting.
No, you guys, I mean the FCTA Commission, the minister and all of that, all right? So the FCTA Commission...
Use the correct word.
Please, it's no, Mr. Larry Olayinka, you can't come here and teach me my job.
I'm coming.
Please, with due respect, I will not come and encroach on your job because you came in here and you said also, you can't come and teach. It's not about age. I'm just asking you questions. Just answer the question, Mr. Olayinka. All right?
I said I am your senior on this job, so I can teach you.
Answer the question. You guys, I'm talking about the FCTA. What were the terms of the contract? Just go ahead, please.
I'm answering your question. And in answering your question, I can also teach you because I am your senior on this job.
I mean, it's not a case of age or seniority here. Just answer the question.
The condition, this is the letter written to that company. This is the letter written to the company. And the conditions are well stated. Pay ground rent, pay this, and I can see the condition as there. You pay.
What are the terms? Can you read it out? Can you read it out? Can you tell us the terms? How much is it in total?
Well, the terms is here. The light, okay, premium on the land, which is 2,330,000. Okay, let me put it this way. Premium on the land.
Do you have a total there? Just tell me the total, Mr. Olayinka. Tell me the total of the amount.
I'm talking about 2.3 million. I'm coming. 2.3 million, 11 million, and 43 million. That will amount to like 11 plus 43. That is 40. That is 54 plus 2. That is about 57 million. No, 50. That is about 67 million.
Okay, so you're saying 67 million.
67 million.
Okay, Mr. Olayinka, you're saying it's 67 million they were supposed to pay. I want to also talk to you about, she also made another allegation of a certain Mr. Chinda owning a company that is linked to your boss. What's your clarification on that? I challenged her on that, but I want to get also your clarification on that. So, and has that company paid that 67 million?
Let me say this clearly. Assuming but not conceding that company you are talking about belongs to Honorable Chinda. Number one, the question I want to also ask you is that, are we saying that because Nyesom Wike, who is from Rivers State, is a minister of FCT, anyone from Rivers State cannot be allocated land in the FCT? That is one. Are we also saying that because Chinda worked with Wike in the past, like 15, 16, 17 years ago, because of that, if he now needs a land, if a land is vacant and he applies to buy, it cannot be allocated that land. The issue is we are getting too sentimental. There are two issues here. And the first is, I'm coming. Does Paulosa have any claim to the land? The answer is no. They don't have any claim to that land. Does the government have right to sell the land to whoever that is willing to pay? The government has right to sell its land.
Okay, so
no, the land was
so can I come in here, please? Mr. Olayinka, ask the questions. Let me ask the questions.
Yeah, you can come in. Yes,
yeah.
You can.
So
yes, you can come
I'm
in.
asking, has Chinda's company now paid for that land that you said Paulosa couldn't pay for all this while?
I'm not agreeing with you as Chinda's company.
No,
I'm telling you that.
No, I'm just asking a question.
The person to whom, okay,
as the question, Mr. Lere Olayinka, please just listen to me.
As paid,
Mr. Lere Olayinka. So the company that Chinda is involved in has paid for that land already. That's why you guys are enforcing the ejection for Paulosa, right? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Have they paid for it?
A letter was written to Paulosa. I'm coming. A letter was written to Paulosa dated October 10, telling Paulosa that offer that we gave you 20 months ago, we are revoking it because you did not honor the terms and conditions.
Okay, no, cut to the chase.
Like I said the other time.
Mr. Olayinka, cut to the chase. Cut to the chase. Has Chinda's company now paid for that land? The one they've reallocated to now, has he paid for the land?
Wait, the company to which the land has now been allocated has paid, and all documents has been handed to the company.
Okay, when did they pay?
You don't get documents of government.
No, when did they pay? We just want to get the clarity of it.
When did they pay?
When did they pay?
Well, from this letter that I'm showing you, the offer that was given to Paulosa was revoked via this letter of October 10.
Can I ask my last question?
So
can I ask my last question?
Yes.
Did they inform Paulosa?
You can ask, yes.
Did they inform Paulosa that Chinda company company was about to pay and the offer was about to be taken off the table? Or they just informed Paulosa that the offer is taken off the table? Did they give them the right of first refusal when Chinda's company was about to pay?
Wait, they already had offer. They had offer since February 1.
Mr. Olayinka, we both agree. Listen to me. Just listen to me. Mr. Olayinka, just listen to me.
I'm coming. Let me finish this. Let me finish this. I'll listen to. Let me finish this. I beg. Let me finish this. I beg. Paulosa got an offer on February 1 last year. That offer was revoked on October 10 this year. So any other transaction thereafter will not involve Paulosa. It doesn't. You can't. What will be the involvement of Paulosa?
Lere, I would like to ask you one question.
Yes, sir.
President, I said president.
Okay.
He probably wants to become president. Minister Wike is quoted to have said, "I will not look anybody in the face. Let the heavens fall." Even after the Senate had said, our processes should be halted. Is the Minister of the FCTA saying that everything he has done with regard to the demolition of illegal structures, whether it's the Ogbebo, case or in every other case, is something legal and lawful, and that there has been no abuse of power?
Let me correct this impression. The minister made that statement before the Senate resolution.
Okay,
he made that statement at about 1 p.m. yesterday, and the Senate resolution came after. So that statement was not directed at the Senate. It was on the rest of the Senate.
But he says the heavens can fall.
Let me also tell you this.
He says the heavens can fall. He can do as he wishes.
Well, if the minister is saying that, he's not looking at your face, and he's not looking at your face.
Yes,
he's looking at the propriety of your transaction with the government. Let me give you an example. About a few days ago, advertisement was placed in many newspapers advertising the names of those who are owing government on lands. There are 9,532 people that have collected allocation from government and have not paid for the land. Those names have been published. The land number, and allocation has been published with it. And they have been given a time frame to pay, after which they will lose that land. Let me mention it here. One of the people whose name were mentioned is former President General Ibrahim Babangida. Another person there was former governor of Benue State, Samuel Otom. Samuel Otom is a very close friend, political ally of the FCT minister. His name was published. His name was published. The minister did not say, remove the name of my friend. No. So what he's saying is that he is not going to operate with you, deal with you on the basis of friendship. He is going to operate and deal with you on the basis of doing the right thing. So he's saying that if you regularize, if you have land genuinely, you don't have any issue. Even if you are his enemy, you will not have any issue. But if you don't have genuine ownership of land, even if you are his wife or you are his friend, you have issue. You lose the land. And I am saying this here again. Those whose name have been published that are among those 9,532 people should go and do what they need to do. Because when the government now chooses to revoke their allocation, that is when they will come to TV station. That is when they will call social media activists. That is when they will call people who went to do law in the night, that did baseless laws, to come and be talking for them on social media. They have opportunity of regularizing their ownership now. And we are calling them to go and do that now. If they don't, they will lose those lands. The minister will not look at your face whether you are his friend, whether you are his enemy. He will only look at the genuineness of your claims. Simple.
Okay. Well, Olalere, what if Paulosa brings the money today, the company? Would the FCTA
Paulosa can no longer bring money, because the offer they gave Paulosa, I'm telling you this now. If as a student you were offered admission to a university, 20 months you did not pay acceptance fee, you did not do registration. The school now chooses to give that slot to somebody, to a student who is ready to pay. After the student has paid and have taken the admission, can you now go back to the university and say, oh, you are now ready? Will the university wait for you?
Anyway, the conversation continues. We'd like to thank you very much, Olalere Olayinka, for presenting, the other side of the story, defending the minister of the Federal Capital Territory. Thank you for joining us.